Hello and welcome to Wednesday, March 24, 2021 live Q&A while I work on patterns for the Ready to Wear collection that will be released the beginning of May. If at any time you have any questions, by all means, type them in the chat there. Hello, second person that's there. I don't know who you are. But thank you for coming along. pattern am I making now? I'm working on the multicolor skirt waistband. I'm almost finished with this pattern all the way. I'm so excited. One of my favorite parts about designing is making the patterns. You have this picture in your head of what you want it to look like, the end result, and you have a technical flat sketch that you've done, and then from that you have to make a pattern from what you have in front of you. So, for example, this is the one I'm finishing up right now, the waistband on it. And there's many pieces. So, well, there's 11 pieces actually. And each color here has to have its own piece in order to make it look right. Because there's no seam up here or up here, and there's no seam that goes up the center here. So from that, which is actually a technical sketch, more or less, I have to make the pattern from what I see in front of me. And what I'm doing now is finishing up the waistband pieces for that. Pattern making is as much a science as it is an art. And speaking of things that are science and art, sometimes I forget to add a little extra seam allowance in some places. And I have to go in and fix it. Many of the big designers, they design and then they're not necessarily the ones that are making the patterns. They'll often make the design and then send the pattern off, send the sketches and the technical details, which sometimes they don't even do that, off to the designer or off to the pattern makers. And then the pattern makers they make the patterns. And then from the pattern makers, they make a trial version to see if it's all going to work, and it's going to be to the designers, if it's what the designer expected it to be. And then from there, it goes, if it needs any changes, then it goes back to the pattern maker, and then they make the changes, and then they try again. And eventually it gets to where it's finished and it goes off to production. That's just a short version. There's a lot more parts and pieces than that. It must be boring. Somebody pops in and then somebody goes again. Or else they're just not interested. Or they have no questions. I'll answer just about anything. There's actually a couple of different ways you can do waistbands. This one I'm just doing a basic two-piece. And I think instead of putting interfacing, I think I'm going to use a gross grain ribbon, which doesn't stretch. It's very non-stretchy. So this is like a 1 inch, and that way then the fabric doesn't stretch out at the waist. I'm surprised I don't have any of my cats down here. Usually they're down here being buttheads. If I could keep track of my pencils and my pens, it'd be a small miracle. Any other questions or something, topic maybe you want me to talk about? Quiet bunch today. The work in my studio is complete. It's all, actually, I think it was complete the last one I did. I just haven't put a video up yet. That's coming. before I forget, I need to add this other little bit here. I always say, if my rememberer worked as good as my forgetter, we'd be in great shape. I remember what piece number it was. Huh. Well, that's the last one. That one's all ready to go. Any questions? Anything? Anybody? I wish I had some white out. that's 3 complete pattern pieces done. The jacket and 2 of the skirts. Thinking maybe we could start on we could do the next skirt. Because there's actually 4. Yep, that's what I said. There's 4 of them. So usually with a new pattern like this, the first step is to figure out what pieces I need and how many. On this one, the front and the back are the same, so then I only need 3 pieces because I can use the same one. And actually, I don't even need that. So it looks like center front, center back, 1 piece, cut 2. And the sides are the same front and back. So 1 side piece, cut 4. Front waistband, back waistband. Yep, I think that's what we'll do. The length, how long? Because this one goes all the way to the floor, or almost. That's quite a long ways. Anybody have any thoughts on how long it should be with the measurement? Now, I was thinking right around 34. When I make my when I make these are not for any one specific person. They're industry standard size 6. They're made to be photographed. They'll go on the dummy over there, my mannequin, and then they are photographed. And then they go up on a book is made and things like that. So it's trying to figure out what the length should be, but I think 34 is about right. This skirt, what color will this one be? Ooh, that's a good question. Originally, I was thinking a blue, like a purple, but I've changed my mind. And I think it's going to be pink and purple. So it'll be those two colors. The collection is uniform across all of them. So all the colors go together. All the pieces can be interchanged. The jacket that I'm making to go with one skirt, it can be used with any of them. There'll be three different color shirts: white, pink, and blue. The white and the pink are interchangeable. They're basically the same design. And the blue one is a little different. It's a little more laid back. Yes, I think that will be an absolutely gorgeous piece. I'm excited. That gives a starting point. By using blocks, it gives me that I don't have to continuously recreate the same size. If I have a customer that's a repeat customer, repeat client, then I create the tag board for them from their basic measurements. So then we have a starting point for every garment thereafter. How do I come up with idea for designs? Oh, wow. I pick a theme, usually. I pick a season, I pick a theme, and then I just start with some background research. Let's see. The one I'm working on, my board is over there. Let me see if I can find some of it in here. I don't know if it's in this one or the other one. It is in this one. This one was groups in uniform. I absolutely love uniforms. I love guys in uniforms. Who doesn't? So I pulled images from different uniforms. I guess I kind of went with the different wars. And then I pulled some from TV movies, and just some in general pictures. And then I just pull some of the pieces out that really strike me. Like here, you've got this, and this, actually this part of his armor is a design, is actually in one of my garments I'm using for this particular collection. And I just sit sometimes and I pull up something I like and I just start sketching different, add the colors, and I have way more designs than I needed, but I can always come back to some of these again. And then there's just different things. There's some blue, there's parachutes where they jumped out, and I had some ideas from the parachutes themselves and different ideas, even like this, which is, everybody should know what that is. That even gave me a jumping off point for something. I see the lines before I see the actual photo sometimes. My background is in photography also. So I see things in black and white before I see them in color. The one that is my absolute favorite, which I'm not making for this collection, and actually this isn't the garment, but there's a jacket based off of this one. This is my favorite jacket. This I will make for myself at some point, probably next winter. I absolutely love it. The design detail, I know it's a costume, but the design detail in it is just absolutely amazing. It just intrigued me. So there's the jacket, and then he has like a red vest under it and the blue pants. It's pretty awesome. I don't get that excited about many things. That's kind of how it happens. Sometimes I was watching something on TV the other night. I'm getting ready to make myself a blazer, and there was a detail in somebody else's blazer that I absolutely love. So when I get ready to make mine, I'll add those. I'll add those into my designs for one that I'm making. Are there any more questions or thoughts, comments? Well, I'll give it a couple more minutes, and there's no more questions. We'll do about 3 more. There's lots of math. There's always math. All those people in high school that always said, when am I ever going to use this math again? Well, apparently they had no intention of sewing or designing or anything, because I use more math now than I have ever in my entire life. Trying to figure out the dimensions and the proportions and making things look right and accurate. So much math. It's crazy. That's a little better. I think we're going to cut this all the way out and work from there. This is just a draft piece anyway. I always start with a draft, and then I work my way to my final pattern piece. Drafts are where I can work out any measurement problems or things like that. Like, I need to know what this is without the darts, so I'll close the darts up so I can work with it like that. And then when I get ready, I can open the darts back up and I'll know right where I'm at. Sometimes you see darts in your clothing and your skirts, and sometimes you don't. Darts are used for shaping. They help take a flat piece of fabric and, well, shape it to a body. Skirts, you know, you want them to shape in here. And shirts, you want some kind of dart, maybe on the side here, maybe a princess seam, a fish eye. I mean, there's all kinds of ways for shaping and to make clothes look good on whoever's wearing that. When I do couture work, that's more specific to each specific client. And sometimes they need darts in different places, and sometimes they may not need a dart at all. It just depends. And sometimes the darts, you don't even know, you don't see the darts. Maybe they're closed up and you don't, like here, right now they're closed up. So maybe you don't even, the darts aren't, maybe they wouldn't be actual darts. They are just a fabric cut. Is it easy to make the patterns once you have the design lines figured out? It really depends on the pattern, and it depends on the design. And we'll go back to this one again. This one, I had to, I traced my block first, and I had to make it so that it was all one back and all one front. And I used my draft to figure out exactly where I wanted the pieces to be cut. And then I traced the final pieces off of my draft and added the seam allowance and like there's a invisible zipper and things like that. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes the jacket. I was working on that, and I thought I had all pieces, and then I realized that I had the lining pieces, but I forgot that I needed to add the facing pieces on the inside of the jacket. So then I had to work some math magic there, because the facing, you don't need it to be the whole entire front. You just need it to be the center front on each side. And then the lining attaches to the facings. But sometimes you don't realize how many pieces there are going to be until you're all done. You can think you know how many. This one I don't think is too complicated. These are pretty well what they are. However, I will probably do the center front and the center back, I think, can be one piece. I think the side pieces on the front and the side pieces on the back need to be separate because they're darting. It's different. So there would be more than however many I originally thought. There any more questions? No? All right. Well, thank you for hanging out with me. This is March. We'll do another one in a couple, probably 2 weeks, maybe. Think of your questions. Thank you for hanging out. Anyone that watches this later, if you have a question or a comment, feel free to drop it below the video. I will add some of my social stuff, my social links in the description at some point. Well, thank you. Have a great day.